It only takes a single spark to light a fire. Once you find the right spark, your fire can be ignited and will keep warm your drive to show up for yourself. WeShape is here to change how and why we exercise. We have found that when you are inspired to work out from a place of self-care versus self-judgment, you will unlock a deeper source of drive and inspiration. Our WeShape workouts are intentional and focus on good form and building a solid foundation before scaling up the difficulty and customizing each movement to your unique level of experience and ability. We're here to help you find your own spark to build that fire from within. Because when you move your body better, you feel better in your body.
So welcome to today's Masterclass. We're so excited that you're here to learn the best moves for you. Let's get started. Welcome to the Best Moves for You live Masterclass. I'm so excited that you're here today. If you're a complete beginner and you're feeling frustrated with your fitness routine, if you're feeling like all the routines that you've tried out there aren't working for you, if you're maybe over 50 and you have aches, pains, and injuries, and you want to feel better in your body again, then this live Masterclass is for you. And the first thing I want to ask everybody who's watching to do is post in the comments, where are you watching in from right now? Let us know in the comments, where are you watching in from? And pay attention to the comments because I want you to see if there are people in your area that are on this live masterclass right now. So let us know. We got people coming in from where? Canada, New Jersey, Florida, Kentucky. All over the world. So this is what's so beautiful about the impact that we're able to make at WeShape with this giant following that we've built, is that we can connect people from all around the world towards a common mission, which is to use movement as a way to start a movement to change the way that you're approaching fitness. And the approach we want to teach you how to have today is to learn how to move your body better so that you feel better in your body. All right? And so here's how this masterclass is going to work today. We're going to start by going through each of the movements that I want to teach you today in the Best Moves for You Masterclass. Now I'm going to teach you 3 of my favorite warm-ups. I'm going to teach you my favorite upper body movement. I'm going to teach you 2 of my favorite lower body movements and my favorite core movement ever. And I'm not just going to teach you one variation. I'm going to teach you several variations of each one of these movements. And that's why we call this the Best Moves for You Masterclass. Because the trick is when you do a workout routine, and you're doing the wrong movements and the wrong variations for your body, well, guess what happens? You end up getting hurt, you end up having more tightness rather than less tightness, you don't gain strength, and eventually you give up because the workout didn't feel good. But at WeShape, we are focused on teaching you how to find the best moves for your body. Movements that are appropriate for complete beginners, for people with aches, pains, and injuries, and then we want to teach you how to do these movements the right way. And that's what this masterclass is all about. And before we dive into me teaching you these movements the right way to move, I want to make sure that you know by the end of this, you're also going to get a follow-along workout routine with all the movements I'm teaching today, where you can pick the best variations for your individual body. And I also have a special bonus at the end of this video after the follow-along routine. So make sure you set aside the next hour or so to stick around, because I'm going to teach you how to do all of these movements with perfect form. Make sure that your body's feeling good throughout them. And like I said, I'm going to give you variations for each one of these movements to make sure you have the right variation for your body. So this is an interactive masterclass. So if you can, put your phone down, get some water, make sure you have a chair and some space. That way you can move along with me. So again, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the moves first. You can try them out. And what I want you to do along the way is pay attention to which variation of these movements felt like the best fit for you. That way, when we get to the follow-along routine, you can use that variation of the movements. But don't worry, we got you fully covered because we're going to show you all the different movements during the routine and throughout this masterclass. And again, we're going to focus on form first to make sure that you move better and feel better, okay? Now, before we dive into the warm-up exercises, I want to talk to you about one quick thing, and that is, what is WeShape? Now, WeShape is a company that I co-founded after spending nearly 20 years in the fitness industry, and we realized something that really impacted us negatively. We had helped tens of thousands of people lose weight. And that's what the fitness industry tells you need to do, right? It tells you need to feel bad about yourself if you don't look a certain way in your body. And then you should buy this product and you should do this workout so you can change the way you look. Well, turns out that most people chasing the goal of changing the way they look sacrifice their connection with their bodies and themselves. We get hurt. We try routines that are too hard. We push too hard too fast. We get injured. We get stuck in what we at WeShape call the one step forward, one step back game. And you can imagine what happens when you take one step forward, one step back for years and decades, right? You go nowhere. And that's why throughout this masterclass, what you'll see is a different kind of philosophy on fitness. A philosophy centered around practicing movement, around learning how to do these movements the right way, around making sure that you have the right variation of each movement for your body, even if you're a complete beginner. Because the ultimate goal is to help you move better and feel better. All right? So, one last thing is, if you're watching this on Instagram or Facebook, the best place to watch this is on our YouTube channel. So you can head on over to our YouTube channel and check it out there. We're gonna have the follow along workout, and it's the best place to check this out because we'll have multiple angles on the cameras to make sure you know how to do every movement with perfect form. Otherwise, again, carve out a little bit of time. I'm gonna teach you all the movements right now, and pay attention to the form cues that I'm teaching you throughout this masterclass. Because what you'll notice is we really focus on teaching you how to move better because we believe that if you move better, you feel better. So let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna teach you is my 3 favorite warm-ups. I'm gonna show you a level 1 variation of each, sitting in a chair. Then I'm gonna show you a level 2 variation of each, standing, all right? And pick the variation that feels like the right fit for you. We're gonna focus first on doing shoulders and posture. Then we're gonna work on neck, shoulders, spine, and hips. And then we're gonna work on the hips and knees, okay? So the first movement is gonna be called the seated bent YTW. So what you're gonna do is start by coming to the edge of your chair like this, and then you're gonna take a wide stance with your toes turned outward, and make sure your knees are pointed the same direction as your toes the whole time. Now from there, with a nice tall posture, bring your belly towards your thighs like this, but keep a nice flat back. So we're not gonna round our spine like this. Really important, keep that back nice and flat. Now point your thumbs backwards like this and bring your arms between your legs, and you're gonna press your feet into the ground the whole time. Nice tall posture, and we're gonna make a Y like this. Then we're gonna make a T, again pointing the thumbs backwards, and then we're gonna make a W. Again, pointing the thumbs backwards on every single repetition. So do a few repetitions of this, make a big Y, hold for a second, squeeze those shoulder blades together, palms toward the sky, thumbs backwards, make a T, and then make a W, just like this. And so what this motion is doing is helping open up your shoulders, strengthen the muscles between your shoulder blades, and improve your posture all at the same time. So this is a beginner warm-up movement we'll be doing in the follow-along routine for the shoulders and posture, okay? Now let's talk about the neck and the spine and the hips and the shoulders at the same time. So one of my favorite ways to do all of this, to stretch all this at the same time, is a seated side bend, okay? So we're gonna start with the edge of the chair. This time we're gonna bring our feet right in front of us and our knees pointing straight towards our feet. And you're gonna reach one hand down like this, and the other hand comes over with the thumb pointed backwards. Again, the reason why I point the thumb backwards is because if you do this, you're coming into shoulder internal rotation, and we're basically fueling bad posture and not creating more mobility. So I want on the thumb backwards as we reach the arm overhead. So we're gonna reach up like this and come back and forth from side to side. We can inhale as we go down, exhale as we come up, and go back and forth, okay? Now it's important when doing side bends, we're not trying to see how far I can bring my body towards the ground. That's creating compression in the spine. We want length. So I like to think about reaching the rib cage toward the sky as you do these side bends just like this, okay? So again, that's a beginner variation of warming up the middle of the body now. Now we're gonna talk about the hips and the knees. All right, a beginner warm-up that I love is called the seated clams. So stay at the edge of the chair. This time I'm gonna bring your feet all the way together. And what you're gonna do is bring your hands behind you, turn your fingertips outward, pull your shoulder blades back and down, and you're gonna squeeze your knees together like this until you feel the muscles on the insides of your thighs firing. Then you're gonna open your hips as far as you can, let your ankles roll to the side until you feel the muscles on the outsides of your hips firing. And just go back and forth like this, holding the end of each position for about 1 second. And really squeezing those muscles on the inner thighs here, and trying to squeeze the muscles on the outsides of the hips right here, okay? So there's 3 different warm-up movements that are beginner variations for you in a seated position, all right? Now I'm gonna go to a standing position. I'm gonna show you a level 2 variation of each of these warm-up drills, okay? So, we started with seated YTWs, and what we wanna do now is we wanna do some standing bent YTWs, okay? So first, you're going to hinge forward at the hips like this, again with a nice flat back, toes pointed straight forward, and the same thing happens here. We're gonna turn our thumbs backwards like this, and you're gonna make a Y, hold for a second, then you're gonna make a T, thumbs pointed backwards, then you're gonna make a W, just like this, okay? Don't underestimate the YTW. This is one of the best moves for shoulders and posture. In fact, we just hosted one of our first live events, the WeShape Wellness Weekend, and one of our attendees came in and said they started doing the YTW, and it absolutely changed their posture, and their shoulder pain completely went away. So even if you don't use this in the workout routine, you can do this move every day, and it's gonna make your shoulders feel so much better, okay? The second variation is gonna be a standing side bend instead of a seated side bend, okay? So what we're gonna do is start with our feet right underneath our hips, our toes pointed straight forward, all right? One hand goes on the hip, the other arm comes over the head, and we're gonna point the thumb backwards like this as we reach our rib cage toward the sky. And we're gonna come back and forth like this, inhaling as we go down, exhaling as we go up, as we go back and forth like this. Now, something you can do in the standing side bend is you can push your hand against your hip like this, and what you'll feel is not only a stretch coming through the side of your lat and all the way through your core, you might even feel it all the way down into the sides of your hips. And that's good. That's what we want you to feel, is a deep stretch across your entire body, okay? So the standing side bend is our level 2 variation for the side bend that you'll see during the follow-along workout. So again, I'm teaching you all of these moves with good form, and then we're gonna have you do a follow-along routine here in just a sec, all right? And finally, instead of seated clams, I'm gonna have you do supported sumo squats as the warm-up. So for this one, we're gonna take a nice wide stance like this. We're gonna turn our toes outward like this, and it's important to look down at your knees and make sure that your knees and your toes are going the same direction. Don't let your knees cave in like this. That's one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and they have knee pain because of it. Now from there, keep the posture upright, and we're gonna push the butt back, and we're gonna keep the posture upright, but we're gonna use our hands on the chair. We're gonna go down as deep as we feel comfortable, and then back up. And what I'm really trying to feel as I do this is I'm trying to push my knees out. I'm trying to feel the muscles on the outsides of the hips right here as I go up and down. And I'm really driving my knees out as you do this motion. Now these 3 warm-ups, right? Either the seated variation of the YTW, the side bend, or the clams, or the standing YTW, the standing side bends, or the supported sumo squats are gonna warm up, stretch, and strengthen almost your entire body, right? So they're fantastic movements to practice throughout the day, as well as through this follow-along workout that you're gonna get here in just a sec. Okay, now let's talk about the best upper body move, all right? Now, one of the fundamental things that we really like to do at WeShape is make sure that you have no excuses as to not do a workout, right? Because most of us, when we think about fitness, we think about, I gotta join a gym, I gotta get a trainer, I gotta do a program, I gotta get some equipment, right? And then what happens? We end up spending so much time, money, and energy trying to feel better in our bodies. But one of the simplest things that you can do is you can start working out from the comfort of your own home. And all you need is a chair, your body weight, and a little bit of knowledge to make sure that you have the right moves for your body. So as we approach this series of the upper body moves, the lower body moves, and the core move that I'm gonna teach you how to do with good form, I'm not just gonna teach you one variation, I'm gonna teach you 4 different levels. And each level is a little bit harder than the last one. And what this does is, as you get stronger and more flexible over time, you go up in levels. And when you go up in levels, you increase your strength, your flexibility, your balance, and your coordination, which are the attributes that at WeShape we believe are essential if you want to feel good in your body again, especially if you're over 50, especially if you have aches, pains, and injuries, and especially if you want to get a great workout in a very short period of time, as you'll see in a sec, because the follow-along workout is 20 minutes or less, including the warm-up, and it's going to give you a full body workout that's going to make your body feel amazing again, all right? So let's dive into the upper body move first, and I'm going to teach you the 4 different levels that you're going to be seeing tonight during the follow-along workout. What I want you to do is follow along, and if you can do one of these moves with perfect form for about 30 seconds to a minute, let's pretend you can do it for a full minute, you can do that with perfect form, then that's the variation I want you to use during the follow-along workout. And remember, when you follow along, you can always scale down to the next movement down as well if you need to. All right, so the first move is going to be upper body move. It's my favorite upper body move. So simple. Everybody's seen it. It's called the push-up. But most people can't do a push-up, okay? And if that's you, if you're a beginner, if you have injuries, if you just haven't been working out for a long period of time, I want to show you a simple progression that you can do to get the push-up going. So we're going to started with a seated thigh push-up. So you're going to start with wide stance again, knees pointed the same direction as your toes. And this time we're going to place our hands on top of our knees like this. All right, now pay really close attention because this is going to teach us how to activate the right muscles in our upper body. You're going to press your hands down against your knees and keep pressing them in the whole entire time. Then you're going to bow forward from the hips as you push your hands forward into your knees, almost like you're doing a push-up on your thighs, okay? And then on the way back up, you're gonna press your hands into your thighs this direction like this, while you keep your elbows down to your sides like this, and you're gonna use the resistance of your core to make it harder for you. So if you wanna make it real easy, you don't have to squeeze your core that much. You can go forward and backward, just like this. If you wanna make it really hard, you can squeeze your core like crazy, and you can make this movement hard, even for someone who's advanced. But what we really wanna pay attention to is our form, because this teaches us good form in the push-up where we can control the resistance. So instead of flaring your elbows out like this, don't flare your elbows out like this, don't shrug your shoulders up like this as you're doing it, right? Elbows stay down, shoulders and lats stay active by pushing down against your knees the entire time. This is really important. When you do this, you'll feel these muscles right here activate. That's what we want to feel, and then we want to feel the chest and the shoulders and the triceps. So chest, shoulders, and triceps going forward and backward like this, along with our core. And the lats and the core should stay active the entire time. Okay? So that's your level 1 push-up. If you've never done push-ups before, your shoulder hurts, you can't do push-ups, this is a fantastic variation for just about anybody, even if you have aches, pains, and injuries, okay? Now our level 2 is we're gonna come up to a high chair position. And so I wanna make sure that you have a countertop or a really nice sturdy chair to do this on. Make sure that your surface is sturdy. I don't want anybody putting their hands on here and the chair sliding out and falling on their face. So be really smart about what you're doing here, okay? And we're gonna come into a plank position. I'm gonna walk you through the perfect plank position because this is gonna be essential for you to have a perfect push-up. So what I like to do on a chair is first, I like to turn my wrists to the outside like this, okay? When we turn our fingertips to the outside like this, it changes the angle of your wrist, okay? So oftentimes, when we put our hands flat on a chair like this, you'll see I have about a 90-degree angle, and that requires a lot of wrist flexibility, all right? If I turn my hand to the outside like this, what you'll actually see is about a 45-degree angle, meaning it requires a lot less wrist flexibility. So hands on the outside of the chair, fingertips turned outward. Now we're gonna come into our plank position. Now this is really important. The first thing I want you to do to protect your lower back and make this really effective is to squeeze your glutes and tuck your pelvis. So I try to squeeze my glutes tight, and I imagine pointing my tailbone towards the ground as much as possible, okay? You're gonna feel your core muscles start to fire like crazy when you do this. It's important to maintain that the entire time you do any push-up variation. Now from there, just like we did in the thigh push-up, press your hands down into the chair and drop your shoulders like this, and you'll feel all these muscles underneath your armpit start to fire. Those are the muscles that protect your shoulder and connect the upper body to the core. So we want to make sure that they're active the entire time. Now, inhale as we go down, and don't let your elbows come up like this. Bring your elbows back towards your sides. I like to think about bringing my elbows down towards my hips. Inhale as we go down, and exhale as we go up. And you can play around with range of motion here. Maybe you're only going halfway down. Maybe you're going all the way down. Either way is totally fine with us as long as you focus on perfect form, all right? Move slow, especially in these lower levels, because they're the really important levels to get these movements right. And remember, if there's anything you want to take away from this, it's that when you move better, you feel better, all right? So this is our level 2 push-up variation, all right? And again, this is going to be in the follow-along workout that's coming up here in just a minute. Our level 3 is going to be a low chair push-up. So all we're gonna do is turn the surface around. You can do this on an ottoman, on a couch, on a low chair, anything like that. Same things apply though. Fingertips to the outside, squeeze your glutes, tuck your pelvis just like this, press your hands down into the chair, and then we're gonna inhale as we go down, drop the elbows towards the ribs, exhale as we come up, and do our push-ups just like this. So if this feels like a variation that you could do for at least 30 seconds with perfect form, that's our level 3 variation. And finally, our level 4 variation is just a standard push-up. So as you can see, I'm teaching you what's called a movement progression, which means each variation is just a little bit harder than the last, requires a little bit more strength, and sometimes requires a little bit more flexibility and coordination. And what happens is if you train this way, you're not only training to get stronger, but you're training to get more flexible, you're training to improve your balance, your coordination, your entire nervous system gets better at moving your body. And then you get to move around life more freely again. And it feels so much better, trust me. Okay, the final variation, level 4, is a push-up. Same thing as all the other cues, and we're just gonna do a push-up on the floor instead, just like this, okay? So when we get to the follow-along workout, you're gonna pick one of those levels, either the seated thigh push-up, the high chair push-up, the low chair push-up, or the regular push-up, and you're gonna follow along to the routine using that variation. And if it gets too hard and you fatigue out, maybe you're on level 2, you can always skip back down to level 1, okay? This will give you a sense of how we like to train our members to work out at WeShape. All right, now I'm gonna go over 2 of my favorite lower body moves, then we're gonna do the core move, and then we're gonna get started with this follow-along workout routine, okay? So make sure you stick around because that follow-along workout routine is gonna be awesome. It's gonna make you feel better, and it's gonna show you that you don't need a gym membership. You don't need an hour. You can literally get an incredible workout from the comfort of your own home in like 20 minutes or less, okay? So let's talk about the lower body moves. The first move we're going to go over is the squat. Now, everybody likes the squat. You hear everybody talk about how amazing the squat is. But the problem I see with the squat is that people don't know how to teach it from the ground up. And the reason why I know this is I've had 5 knee surgeries. And so what that means is I've literally spent probably a year of my life in rehab just learning how to stand up from a chair again, okay? And yet, what I've discovered as a trainer for more than 20 years is that most people don't stand up from a chair the right way. What ends up happening is they stand up from a chair, they bring their knees in like this, their back's rounded, and they wonder why they feel bad. They wonder why they have aches, pains, and injuries. Well, it's because we need to practice moving better, all right? So I'm gonna take you through 4 levels of the sit to stand, and I want you to pick the variation that feels like the right fit for you, okay? And the first variation is for people who can't stand up from a chair right now. So one of the best parts about WeShape is we give you movements that you can do even if you can't stand up from a chair right now, okay? So this movement is called the seated heel push. So you're gonna scoot to the edge of your chair. You're gonna take a nice wide stance like this and make sure that your knees are pointing the same direction as your toes, okay? Now from there, you're gonna lift your toes towards your nose and you're gonna press your heels into the ground. Imagine like you're trying to scoot the chair backwards and you're gonna feel your quad muscles fire, probably your hamstrings, probably your glute muscles, and probably these muscles right here across your shins as well, okay? Hold for a second or 2 and then relax. That's it. Lift the toes to the nose, press the heels into the ground, hold for a second or 2, and then relax. And so what this is doing is called an isometric contraction. It's teaching your mind to connect with your muscles, and it's one of the fastest ways to actually strengthen the muscles necessary to do something like a sit to stand without hurting yourself, okay? So that's our level 1 variation, the seated heel push, all right? Level 2 is supported sit to stand. So I'm gonna really make sure that you know how to do this with perfect form. One of my favorite ways to teach this is in reverse though. So I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna teach you in reverse, all right? So for the supported sit to stand, we're gonna start with a slightly wider than hip width stance with our toes slightly turned outward. So the way I like to think about it is if I have my hands on my hips like this, and if I drop my hands straight down, usually that's where my heels are. And then I'll just turn my toes out maybe 15 or so degrees, okay? Now what I'm gonna do first with the squat, and this is really important, is I'm gonna push my butt back and shift my weight to my heels. Oftentimes when people initiate a squat, they bring their knees forward and they shift their weight to their toes and they come down like this. And for people who have knee injuries, this is a no-no. It's putting all the pressure on this little joint and not very much pressure on this huge, super strong joint. So we wanna learn how to reverse that. So I start by pushing the butt back and shifting the weight to the heels. I like to think about maybe somebody standing behind me and I wanna knock them over like this with my butt, right? So that's how you can start the movement, okay? Start the movement like that. The back stays nice and flat. Then we place our hands on our knees. And just like the seated thigh push-up, I press down on those knees as I slowly lower myself to the chair, just like this, okay? And then I reverse the motion by starting by bringing my belly button forward with a nice flat back, pressing down into my knees with my hands and pressing my heels into the ground, lifting the hips up, coming back to this position where we had our hips hinged forward, and then finishing the motion by extending the hips. All right, it's important to get a breathing rhythm down too. Inhale as we go down, and exhale as we go up. And remember, practice this movement slowly. Really pay attention. Are my knees wobbling or am I keeping them pushed out and are they tracking the toes? Are they going the same direction as the toes? Am I keeping my back nice and flat as I go up and down? And where's the weight distribution on my feet? Am I leaning up on my toes or am I keeping it down on my heels, okay? So this is your level 2 supported sit to stand, all right? The next variation, pretty simple to teach this one, is just called the sit to stand, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna inhale as we go down. This time we're gonna lift our arms in front for a counterbalance. And we're gonna exhale as we stand up, and we're gonna do the sit to stand just like this, all right? Pretty straightforward. You're just removing the support from your knees as you go up and down. And you can play around with the speed. If you're able to do it slow, with perfect form, you see how my knees are nice and stable, they're not wobbling, right? If your knees start doing this kind of thing right here, slow it down or go back to the supported sit to stand. You can even use your hands to help guide your knees, okay? If you can do it perfectly, then you can increase the speed. You can do your sit to stands a little bit faster, okay? Now the final level I want to teach you today is a level that's going to start to prepare your body to be able to jump again. And I know that sounds crazy. I know for a lot of you, you're probably like, I'm never going to be able to jump again. But by using a movement progression like the ones that we're teaching you today, you will eventually be able to jump and land pain-free again. And that's so important because it means stronger bones, stronger muscles, stronger tendons, stronger ligaments. And the number one reason why people lose their mobility, their ability to move as they age, is because of falls. All right? So not only will these movements make you stronger, more coordinated, give you better balance, it's also going to make you more resilient, which is really important as we age. Okay? Okay, so the last variation is the fully extended sit to stand. You're gonna press the heels into the ground. You're gonna stand up tall, but this time I want you to rise up on your toes as much as possible and then slowly come back to your heels and reverse the motion. Now at first this might feel kind of mechanical, like it's got some steps to it, right? Extend, extend, down, down, right? But after you do this for a while, I want you to smooth it together. So make it feel more like boom, and then back down. Almost like you're landing softly, right? On every rep. Almost like you're jumping and landing softly, okay? So if you end up trying the V-Shape program later, we do have more levels of this where we actually take you to hopping and then jumping and things like that. But for today, the fully extended sit to stand is our level 4 squat movement, okay? Now we worked the front side of the thighs. We definitely worked the glutes a little bit too, but we want to work a movement next that's called the frog deadlift. Okay, this is one of my favorite lower body movements, and you know why? It's because the number one reason that we hurt ourselves is because we're doing this. We bend over to pick something up, and we go, ah, and we don't know how to move through our hips. We don't know how to stabilize our core properly. We end up hurting our lower back. The frog deadlift strengthens all the muscles of the backside and teaches you how to move better so that you can feel better, and it's one of my favorite movements, okay? Our level 1 variation starts in a seated position. Remember, at V-Shape, we make sure that you've got the right move for you, even if it's a position that you're sitting in or even lying down in, right? Our workouts actually have movements that are easier than these level 1s that we're showing you today. So come to the edge of the chair, nice wide stance. What we're gonna do for the seated frog hip hinge is we're gonna place our hands on our hips like this, nice tall posture, and you're gonna bring your belly button between your thighs like this until you feel like you get a stretch inside your groin and your hamstrings. For some of you, that might only be this far. That's totally fine. Then you're gonna press your heels back into the ground and come back up, okay? And every time we come down, we're gonna inhale, and we're gonna see if we can get a little bit lower, and then press your heels on the ground and come back up. You can even reach your arms down like this and see if you can get close to touching the ground maybe, and then press up back like this, okay? Now, something to pay attention to, watch my back. Even if we don't want to round the back like this, that's pretty obvious, right? So don't round your back. We want to imagine it's mostly moving from the belly button like this. But even then, we can make this mistake where we excessively arch the back and then watch. And I go back into excessive arch here. So we don't want to have an excessive arch in the lower back either. The way I like to do this is I like to breathe into my belly and then imagine I'm holding the air and the tension inside my belly as I come forward like this. If I create that intra-abdominal pressure, it usually straightens out my spine and protects my lower back, okay? So this is the level 1 variation of the seated frog hip hinge. For level 2, we're gonna do the supported frog hip hinge. And again, we're gonna have a chair in front of us for support. You can use a wall, you can use the side of a chair, whatever feels comfortable for you, all right? We're gonna go back into that wider stance like we had with the sumo squat. This time, we're gonna do the same thing as the sit to stand. I'm gonna push my butt back, shift my weight to my heels, but I'm gonna see how far I can get forward. This feels really similar to this, the seated frog hip hinge. I'm gonna hinge forward like this with my hands on the chair in front of me. See if I can bring my belly button as far between my thighs as possible. I'm gonna keep the knees soft, right? So a little soft bend to the knees. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze my glute muscles and extend my hips at the top position. Now I'm gonna teach you something really cool here. If you're hearing me say, squeeze my glutes to extend my hips, and you're like, what the heck does that mean, all right? I want you to watch my feet. I'm gonna come forward like this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna imagine that I'm pushing my foot out like this through the big toe. Imagine I'm twisting out like this. Now I'm not actually gonna twist, I'm just gonna apply that pressure to the ground on both of my feet. So I come back to that hinge position, I press the big toe on the ground, imagine I'm windshield wipering my feet out like this, and what you'll feel is these muscles on the outsides of the hips start to fire. Now keep that tension as you bring your body upright, and your glutes will fire, right? And all the muscles that support your hips. This is a really important set of muscles that so many people neglect, but if you get it right, it's gonna support your lower back, and it's gonna make you be able to move so much more freely again, right? So the supported frog hip hinge, just like that. Inhale down, come as far as you feel comfortable, don't round your back, squeeze the glutes, extend back up, use your arms in front of you for support, all right? Once that starts to get comfortable, we can go to a regular frog hip hinge, okay? So what that looks like is this. I'm gonna go wide stance, toes out. I'm gonna push my butt back. I'm gonna reach my hands down this time, and I'm gonna see how deep I can get. For some of you, maybe it's your knees. For some of you, maybe it's your shins. Maybe it's all the way down to the ground. Now, what is the cue that tells you how deep you should go? Well, watch my lower back, all right? The moment my lower back starts to round under like this is the moment that you know you've gone too far. So if I'm doing this movement, I'm paying attention, I have a little bit of arch in my lower back, a little bit of arch in my lower back. The moment you see this, that means I went too deep. You want to come back to the point where you have a little arch in the lower back, then press into the heels, and then extend the hips, okay? So we're inhaling down, exhaling up. Now, what is this motion right here? This is the proper way to pick stuff up off the ground with a nice neutral spine without hurting your back, all right? So frog hip hinges are so important, okay? So then we're gonna go ahead and do a full frog deadlift. So instead of doing a frog hip hinge like this, where our hands are in front of us, we're gonna go do the full frog deadlift, where we push our butt back like this. And this time, if you're reaching down, I want you to take an extra bend to the knees, and see if you can get all the way down to the bottom. And then extend the knees while keeping the torso in the same position. Watch my back angle. It stays in the same position. And once they get to the full extended position, then the hips come forward, okay? So the difference between level 3 is level 3, I'm just hinging forward at the hips and doing a moderate bend to the knees. Level 4 is I'm gonna bend the knees as deep as I can, keeping the back as neutral as possible. Then I'm gonna straighten the legs. Then I'm gonna extend the hips just like this. So it's a subtle difference, but one requires more flexibility and more strength than the other. So just like the other movements, let's pick the right variation of the movement for you. Remember, this is the best moves for you masterclass, so pick the right variation for you during the follow-along workout, which we only got one more move to teach. And I want you to pay really close attention to this. This is my favorite core move ever. And so many people train their core wrong, all right? So pay close attention to what we're gonna do here. This move is called the lying leg raise. Now, why this is so important is because most people, when they train their core, they think of movements like this. What are the movements we always do? Crunches, right? Trying to crunch those ab muscles, or sit-ups, and we think this is gonna strengthen our core. Now, while this does strengthen the rectus abdominis muscles that run up and down across your torso, what researchers have now found is repetitive flexion and extension of the spine can actually damage your discs, damage your nerves, and basically cause pain in your spine. And so we don't want to do moves like crunches or sit-ups if we want to protect our body. Instead, we want to keep the spine neutral while we move the limbs, which makes it more challenging. So this move that we're going to work up to is called a lying leg raise. So this is our level 4. I'll go over this in a sec. But first, for people out there who can't do this, here's your level 1 variation, okay? And I want to say something really important here. One of the most common things that people say when they're following along to a V-shaped workout is, I can't get down on the floor, all right? And I want you to know that the best way to do this is on a couch or in your bed. So as you follow along to this routine, all right, so make sure, by the way, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, jump over to YouTube. It's going to have the best view for the follow-along routine right now. So what you want to do is you want to just sit down on the edge of your couch or your bed, swing your legs over. Now you're in this position, and you can stand up really easily. That way it's no pressure on your body, okay? Now the first variation, level 1, we're going to do alternating reverse crunches, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to start by placing your palms toward the sky, dropping your shoulders away from your ears. And this is really important, by the way. So many people, when they do leg raises, do them like this with the palms down. But this right here, watch this. This is the same as this. This is bad posture. This is internally rotated shoulders. So we do them this way to help improve the posture as we're strengthening the core. So palms for the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Then what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze both legs up like this. And all you're going to do is keep your lower back pressed into the ground the entire time. This is going to be the most important cue for you during this movement, is if the lower back lifts off the ground, you're going too hard. You're doing something that's above your current strength level, okay? And what you're going to do is just tap one heel as we inhale, exhale, bring the knee back up. Tap one heel as we inhale, exhale, bring the knee back up. Okay, so this is one way to do level 1. I'm going to show you just another way, just in case that's too hard. It's bringing your feet like this and just lifting one leg at a time, like this, okay? So either one of those can be your level 1 during the follow-along workout that we're going to start here in just a minute. All right? Now, if you can do that, then what we can do is come up to a reverse crunch. So you're going to squeeze your knees together like this, and you're going to keep your palms toward the sky, shoulders away from the ears. You're going to inhale as you come down, tap the heels, and come back up. Now, how do we know if you should go up in levels? Well, if you can keep the lower back glued to the ground the entire time, and this feels fully comfortable for you, then we can go up to our level 3, okay? Level 3 is going to be a slightly bent leg raise. So it looks exactly like it sounds. I'm going to slightly bend my knees, and I'm going to repeat this motion, and I'm going to do a slightly bent leg raise. And again, if I could do about 10 of these while keeping my lower back pushed in the ground the entire time, then we can go on to the level 4 variation, which is the lying leg raise. So toes pointed, squeeze the legs together, knees fully straight, palms toward the sky. This time, come down and back up just like this. Okay? So there's 4 different levels of probably my favorite core move ever. And again, why I like this one so much is because the spine stays neutral the entire time because it's flat along the ground. And by moving the lower body, we strengthen the core muscles while protecting the back and keeping our body much, much safer. All right, so as promised, okay, I showed you how to do all of these movements with perfect form. I think we just went over like 22 different movements throughout this. And during this follow along workout, here's how this is gonna work, okay? We're gonna show you all the movements you just learned. And what you're gonna see is you're gonna see these on the warm-ups, you're gonna see them side by side because we did 2 variations of the warm-up, a level 1 and level 2. Pick the one that feels like the right fit for you as you follow along. For the upper body moves, the lower body moves, and the core move, you're gonna see all 4 variations in a little grid. Pick the one that feels like the right fit for you, and don't be afraid to scale down to the easier one if you need to. And so what I want you to do right now is take a moment, make sure you got some floor space, make sure you got a chair if you need it, make sure you got some water, and we're gonna dive right into this workout in just a sec. And remember, after this workout, I've got something really special for the people who really wanna make sure they have the best moves for their body and can make sure they have the best workouts to help you feel your absolute best. Okay, are you ready for the follow along workout? Looks like we got a lot of people on this call. Thanks for coming again to this live masterclass. Make sure you finish this whole workout and stay tuned for the special surprise I have at the very end. Otherwise, let's get started with this follow along workout right now. Oh, and if you're on TikTok right now, you can head on over. Coming up, seated YTW. Get ready. In a seated position, bring your arms in front of you and make a Y, then a T, then a W. Repeat slowly. Make sure your thumbs are pointed backwards on each movement. Try to stay tall through the top of your head and relax your neck and shoulders as you hold this stretch. Inhale as you move your arms up. Exhale as you move them back to the start position. Results happen over time, not overnight. Work hard, stay consistent, and be patient. 3, 2, 1. Yes, looking good. Up next, one arm seated side bend. Get ready. In a seated position, bend to the side as you reach one arm over your head. Hold for a moment, then switch sides. You should feel this along the side of your body and in your lats under your arms. Inhale as you reach to one side, and exhale as you come back to center. Make this workout part of your daily routine. Try to stay tall to the top of your head as you move from side to side. Three, 2, 1. Great job. Keep it up. Up next, seated clams. Get ready. Open your thighs as much as possible, then squeeze them together at the top. Try to stay tall through the top of your head the entire time. The struggle you'll feel today will be the strength that you feel tomorrow. Keep your eyes forward and focus on a fixed object to get better balance. Make sure the chair or surface you're using is nice and sturdy, okay? Safety first. Your journey begins here. Take that first step. 3, 2, 1. Great work. All right, you're already done with today's We-Shape warm-up. Next up is the actual workout. So let's take those warm, flexible muscles and see what they can do in today's We-Shape workout. For today, we're gonna have you do a 2-block workout, which means there's 2 different parts to this workout. For this block, we're gonna do 60 seconds of work, followed by 15 seconds of rest on the following movements. Push-ups, squats, and finally, frog deadlifts. We're gonna do this for 3 rounds, so get focused and let's get after today's workout. Coming up, push-ups. Get ready! Take a big breath in as you go down and give a big exhale as you go up. Try not to let your elbows flare out as you go down and up. If this bothers your wrists, try turning your fingers out to the side, doing them on your knuckles or on a pair of push-up handles. Make sure all the points of your hand are in contact with the surface and grip tightly with your fingers. This is the true fountain of youth. Keep moving. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Up next, squats. Get ready. When you look down, try to make sure that your knee is going the same direction as your toes. Try to keep 70% of the weight on your heels, 30% on your toes, grip the ground, and keep these 3 points in contact with the ground. We have more possibilities available in each moment than we realize. Try not to push your knee too far over your toes. Three, 2, 1, keep it up. Next up, frog deadlifts. Get ready. Start each rep of this movement by pushing your butt back and hinging at the hips, not bending through the knee. How hurtful it can be to deny one's true self and live a life of lies just to appease others. Think about that. Try to keep 70% of the weight on your heels, 30% on your toes, grip the ground, and keep these 3 points in contact with the ground. Even if you can only do 1 rep, try your best to do it with perfect form. Try to stay tall through the top of your head the entire time. 3, 2, 1. You knew you could do it.
Round 2, woo! Up next, push-ups. Get ready! Try to press through your shoulders and rotate your elbow pits forward to finish each rep.
The kind choices you make today shape your tomorrow.
Listen to your body and know when to rest. Don't rush this movement. The more control you have, the better. If this bothers your wrists, try turning your fingers out to the side, doing them on your knuckles or on a pair of push-up handles. Celebrate every cell in your body working hard.
3, 2, 1, and rest.
Up next, squats. Get ready! Do every rep with your heels slightly outside of hip width and your toes slightly turned outward. Remember, staying in control is more important than the number of reps you can do. When you look down, try to make sure that your knee is going the same direction as your toes. Try to keep 70% of the weight on your heels, 30% on your toes, grip the ground, and keep these 3 points in contact with the ground. Keep believing in yourself.
3, 2, 1, you made it.
Next up, frog deadlifts. Get ready! Take a big breath in as you go down and give a big exhale as you go up. Don't rush this movement. The more control you have, the better. Your journey towards a more loving mind-body connection begins here. Don't round your back. Instead, try to keep your chest up and back flat as you go up and down. Remember, staying in control is more important than the number of reps you can do. Make sure the chair or surface you're using is nice and sturdy, okay? Safety first.
4, 3, 2, 1, and rest.
Round 3, here we go. Up next, push-ups. Get ready! Try not to let your elbows flare out as you go down and up. There's no such thing as failing. Fail means first attempt in learning. Make sure all the points of your hand are in contact with the surface and grip tightly with your fingers. Try to press through your shoulders and rotate your elbow pits forward to finish each rep. 3 little words: love yourself more.
Keep it up. You're almost done.
3, 2, 1. Woo! Awesome job.
Up next, squats. Get ready. Try not to push your knee too far over your toes. To make yourself stronger, squeeze your hands as you stand up.
Even if you can only do 1 rep, try your best to do it with perfect form.
Do every rep with your heels slightly outside of hip width and your toes slightly turned outward.
Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it. Keep going.
Try to stay tall through the top of your head the entire time.
3, 2, 1. You made it.
Next up, frog deadlifts. Get ready. Make sure the chair or surface you're using is nice and sturdy, okay? Safety first.
Check in with your body right now. What do you need?
Don't round your back. Instead, try to keep your chest up and back flat as you go up and down.
No excuses. Let's lay it on the line.
Start each rep of this movement by pushing your butt back and hinging at the hips, not bending through the knee.
Take care of your body, and your body will take care of you.
3, 2, 1. You knew you could do it.
All right, you just completed block number 1, and your body should be nice and toasty, right? Well, I've got another block for you today. So breathe and get some water before we jump into block number 2, because here's what we're gonna do for block number 2. For this block, we're gonna do 60 seconds of work, followed by 15 seconds of rest on the following movements. Slightly bent leg raises. We're gonna do this for 3 rounds, so get ready to crush this workout. Coming up, slightly bent leg raises. Get ready. Press your lower back into the ground and squeeze your abs and glutes while tucking your pelvis.
Listen to your body.
Squeeze your legs and feet together as you do this movement.
Be content with what you have right now. Rejoice in how things are.
Your scars show you where you have been. They do not dictate where you are going.
Make a diamond shape with your hands and place it under your tailbone.
Keep it up. Let's do this together.
3, 2, 1, and great job. Round 2, woo! Next up, slightly bent leg raises. Get ready! Try to stay tall through the top of your head the entire time.
Remember, form first, intensity second.
Try to relax your head and neck as you do this movement. Squeeze your legs and feet together as you do this movement. Make joyful movement a part of your day.
Determination is a strength, so flex it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Round 3, here we go. Next up, slightly bent leg raises. Get ready. Squeeze your legs and feet together as you do this movement. Squeeze your legs and feet together as you do this movement.
Remember, form first, intensity second.
Make a diamond shape with your hands and place it under your tailbone. Press your lower back into the ground and squeeze your abs and glutes while tucking your pelvis. You've come so far already, don't stop. 3, 2, 1, yes! Looking good.
Amazing job on this follow along routine. Now, I hope that you got a ton of value out of this masterclass. You learned some of the best movements and stretches for your body, and hopefully, after just one routine, your body's feeling so much better. However, this is just a handful of moves, and there are so many more movements that you could use to make your body feel even better. So if you really want the best results possible, you probably need more support than just this follow-along workout, which is why the natural next step is for you to try WeShape. And I have something really special to share with you in just a sec. But first, let me share with you what WeShape is all about and why it can be such a huge benefit to help you feel better in your body. You see, you just followed along to this simple routine that you could do from the comfort of your own home, and you learned a few different variations of each movement. But what sets WeShape apart is that we build a customized plan for every single one of our members. In fact, your customized plan is fully customized to your body, meaning it has the right stretches and the right movements to help you gain strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination safely so you can feel good in your body again. And you can even choose between 10, 20, 30, 45, or 60-minute follow-along routines that you can do from the comfort of your own home. And most of our members report feeling so much better in just 2 10-minute routines per week. So it takes just a tiny amount of time as well. So if you're wanting to get the best results possible, then trying WeShape is the next step. And what will happen if you try WeShape is you'll feel so much better in your body. In fact, 30 days from now, you'll bend over to pick something up and you'll notice that it feels so much easier. You'll stand up from a chair and maybe your knees, your hips, or your lower back won't hurt anymore. You'll go for a walk and you'll notice that it's easier to go up and down stairs or to walk for longer than you're used to being able to. And most of all, you'll feel so much more free in your body again. Because at WeShape, we're not about focusing on how you look, we're about focusing on how you feel. So, if you want to feel so much better in your body again, then we have the solution for you, And I have something really special that I want to share with you today. You see, most people are going to watch this masterclass, maybe come back and use this routine a few times, and then they're not going to continue on. But what if you could have your entire year covered? Like a customized plan that you could have for an entire year to help you feel good in your body again. This is going to be daily workouts and stretching routines, access to our amazing and supportive community to make sure that you have all the things that you need to succeed for an entire year. Well, that's exactly what I wanted to offer you today. You see, normally people pay $39.95 a month for access to WeShape, which is about $480 for an entire year. But as a thank you for joining this live masterclass, we wanted to give you 58% off and offer you an entire year of WeShape, creating a customized plan for you for 365 full days for just $199. If you want to take action on this and make this the natural next step for you after watching this masterclass so you can finally start to feel so much better in your body again, all you got to do is go to WeShape.com/best or find the link around this video, and you can take advantage of the special offer that's available to you right now. But you have to act fast because this is only going to be available for about 48 hours, and then we're shutting it down. Now, a couple things often come up when people are thinking about trying WeShape. One of them is time. And so I want to reiterate that our workouts are as little as 10 minutes, and you can do them from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to have any equipment. You can literally do these from home with simply a chair and a towel and some floor space, and in as little as 10 minutes. So you never have to worry about feeling like there's too much time pressure to get a routine done. And another thing that people often talk about is they feel like most of the workouts they tried out there contain movements that aren't the right fit for them. It's too hard for them, and it causes their body pain or makes them not feel good. Well, again, I want to reiterate at WeShape, everything we do is completely customized to you. Our team spent years and so much time, money, and energy building a software that can create a customized workout for your individual body. You can even scale the movements up and down in real time to make sure that they're perfect fit for you, and it will help you gain strength and flexibility safely once and for all. So if you're worried about not being able to do the routines, you should know that this is literally like having me in your house as your own personal trainer, giving you the right movements and stretches for your body so you can finally feel good again. So if you want to start feeling better in just 10 minutes, a couple days a week, from the comfort of your own home, and you want to make sure that you have movements and stretches that are actually the right fit to help you feel good again, then go to WeShape.com/best, because right now you can still save 58% off an entire year of WeShape. Now, while that's fantastic, I want to give you 2 more bonuses today. Bonus number 1 is that we host weekly coaching calls with myself, with Dr. Lisa, and our other incredible coaches to help you get the best results possible. What this means is you can literally jump on a live Zoom call where we can talk face to face and I can answer your questions directly, helping you have everything you need to feel better in your body, and also helping you overcome some of the obstacles in your mindset that are preventing you from showing up for yourself. We host these calls every single weekday, and you'll get access to these for the entire year 100% free. And another bonus I wanted to offer you is this. We host about 8 challenges per year. Now, these challenges help people shift their mindset and develop more consistency in their workout routines. And so many people have benefited from these challenges, feeling so much better in their bodies, about their bodies, and ultimately living such a more joyful life after going through the curriculum that we've created for these challenges. There's even 5 levels of the challenge, and guess what? You're gonna get access to every single challenge for the entire year, 100% free. So again, if you wanna make this next year the best year of your life, really feeling so much better in your body again and having all the support you need from me, from Dr. Lisa, from our entire team, and making sure you have all the right workouts and stretching routines for your body and all these challenges that are gonna help you so much, then go to WeShape.com/best and you can still save 58% off an entire year of WeShape. Now, one more thing. I know that you're probably still hesitant about this. I totally understand it. You joined this free masterclass and you're like, now I wanna go try this year of WeShape. So here's what we did to make sure that there's no risk on you. We wanted to give you a 30-day guarantee. And what this means is you can sign up for the year of WeShape right now. You can do your customized plan. You can do the stretching routines. You can jump on as many calls as you like with myself, Dr. Lisa, the rest of our team. You can engage with our supportive community. And if you don't feel significantly better after 30 days, you can get every penny back, no questions asked. And we have a US-based customer support team that we call our We Care team, because one of our most important values at WeShape is to show you that we genuinely care about you and the results you're getting. So what this means is you have nothing to lose from trying out a year of WeShape and everything to gain. Because if it doesn't work for you, you can get every single penny back. So if you really want to make the next year count, go to WeShape.com/best and sign up for a year of WeShape and save 58% off today. Now, I know I've just shared a ton about WeShape, but one of the most important things is for you to hear what people are saying about WeShape. Because I can tell you a bunch of different things, but it's the people who are actually using it that will tell you the real story. So here's some of our members and what they've experienced after using WeShape.
This program has brought me so far, and just how I feel about myself and how I need to take care of myself. I can't even begin to tell you what an amazing program this is. You'll receive all the support that you need. You'll begin with movement, intention, community, beliefs. Everyone on this staff is here to support you, and it is 100% enjoyment. It's just amazing. I will say to anyone, if you're hesitant, please come on. They answer your emails quickly, your phone calls easily. Just start. You will not regret it.
This weekend, I had something happen that was so amazing. My son got married, and my knee has been so much pain for the last 6 years that I can't, like, stagnant stand has been hard. And I danced with my son at the wedding, and I had fun at his wedding, but I never would have been able to do what I could do this weekend if it wouldn't been for the steps I've made because of this program. I just wanted to say thank you for that. And I love this community and the feel of it.
My knee is stronger than it's been, and it continues to get stronger.
You know, I just turned 69, and before WeShape, I was feeling every year of it. I can get up off my couch so much easier. You know, my knees don't hurt. I have strength in my legs I didn't really have before, and that was in such a short period of time.
One of the big problems I've had as I've gotten older is finding exercise or finding a system that is low enough to start where I needed to start. Wherever the beginner was, it was not low enough for me for the most part. So I'm really, really glad to find WeShape and find the different levels to find where I fit in. And I'm actually doing more than I had thought I could.
I can see an improvement like I haven't before, because it's been like the first week that in multiple days I can go out for a decent walk with not a lot of pain. That's because of your program. Thank you.
Okay, as you could see, those people have experienced amazing transformations in their body, how they feel in their bodies and how they feel about their bodies too. And we want you to be next. And so you really have a choice right now. You can come back to this video and use the workout that we show with you today in the masterclass, and you will still feel a lot better in your body. But there's another choice. If you want, you can get an entire year of access to WeShape, customized daily workouts and stretching routines, access to our challenges, access to live coaching calls with Dr. Lisa, our team, and myself for a huge discount. And over the next year, you'll feel so much better in your body. You'll feel so much better about your body. And you'll look back, and I promise you, you'll consider this one of the best decisions you ever made. And remember, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so even if I'm wrong, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So thanks for watching this masterclass. And if you really want to make the next year count, you can save 58% off a yearly plan from WeShape by going to WeShape.com/best. Hope to see you soon for our first workout together.